there by the river thinking about what to do without any fuss. Enoch called for help from his 2 reliable fox friends, who were the guardians of the woodland. They trotted through the forest, gathering up as many of the animals as possible. Then they all met together under the tallest tree to listen to the dragonfly and offer their support and encouragement. The creatures of the wood told the dragonfly that it was just as colourful and clever as all the other dragonflies in the forest. After that, the dragonfly knew how many friends it had and felt much better, and it never forgot Enoch's kindness. It was as if the old man brought a special kind of magic to the woodland. He'd help the dragonfly learn that whatever you think and believe about yourself can come true. So learning to create positive thoughts and beliefs can lead to happiness. Enoch's wisdom brought a special kind of calm and understanding to his friends, and in turn, all the animals looked after him day and night. They were always ready should he ever need help. Because of his positive thinking, Enoch never worried if anyone thought he was strange. He was perfectly happy to be who he was, to live how he lived and to like what he liked. He was a kind, wise man, completely at home here in the woodland, and his only concern at that moment was to try and get some sleep. As he settled down on the grass, he ignored the quiet giggling of 2 young snails. The snails were sitting together on the luscious leaves where Enoch's boots and socks had landed when he'd taken them off. They thought it was funny to watch him wiggle about getting comfortable. Enoch was their friend too. Once when they couldn't find any good plants to eat, Enoch went out of his way to carry them to the perfect pile of leaves and grass. They'd never forgotten his kindness that day. Now, with the sunset fading quickly, Enoch looked up at the clear, darkening sky, sighing contentedly. He half closed his eyes and stretched out his tired body far away. He could see a cluster of twinkling stars coming out to shine for the night. He smiled to himself, thinking how wonderful it must be to be up there in the sky, looking down on this beautiful earth from above. Perhaps it looks like a jigsaw puzzle of green and brown and blue. As darkness continued to fall, the air grew cold and all was quiet on the riverbank. Although they were very far away, Enoch somehow felt comforted by the shimmering stars watching over him. His breathing began to slow down as he gently drifted towards a most welcome sleep. "Oh, sleep, here I come at last," thought Enoch as he settled into the mossy ground. He shut his eyes tight and made sure his head was in the right spot. But for some reason he just couldn't fall asleep. Then, all of a sudden, he heard a friendly voice coming from high up in the sky. Enoch opened his eyes very wide. "Good evening, Mr. Snoozeby," said a twinkling star. She smiled and glittered as she reached out her silver arm to shake hands with Enoch. Pleased to meet you. Enoch was in awe of the star's beauty and brilliance. He carefully squeezed the perfectly shaped, shimmering hand the star offered him. "I never realized I could reach so far up into the sky as to shake hands with a star," he said. The star responded with a stunning smile. As she smiled, a trail of glittering silver dust rained down on the earth below. The stardust shimmered around Enoch, making everything magical. Enoch was mesmerized by its warmth, which made him feel as if he was bathing in a soothing silver river. The star's gentle voice interrupted Enoch's thoughts. "I've been watching you today and many days before for that," she said. "In fact, we all have." Then even more stars appeared, leaning in to listen to the conversation. They sparkled and twinkled against the velvety black night sky. All of them were so eager to see if their shining friend was really speaking to the famous Enoch Snooze. He was the Enoch Snooze they had all heard of, the one who helped anyone and everyone in need. Enoch looked up in wonder. The sky lit up above him as though it were ablaze with shimmering diamonds. All the stars had come out to say hello to him. Enoch had always loved looking up at the stars from the ground. Now he wondered if he could shake a star's hand. Could he actually visit one in the sky? In a shy voice, he said, "I was just wondering, please could I come up there with you? Just for a while. I'm very sleepy, and I think it might be quite relaxing to rest in the sky." As he spoke these words, he made a wish. He wished as hard as he could upon the beautiful silver dust that surrounded him. Like magic, he wished for just one thing: a good night's sleep. What he didn't know was that all the woodland animals wished for the very same thing they wished for Enoch. Their friend to get a good night's sleep. The shimmering stars heard this wish, as stars always do. "Of course you can join us, Mr. Snooze," said his new friend. "You would be most welcome." In that instant, the star swooped down towards him. She extended her long, glittering arm to cradle Enoch softly and lifted him gently up and up. Now he was in the center of the silver brilliance of the sky. Just as Enoch had imagined, he could see below him all of the luscious fields. They were like a patchwork of different shades of greens and browns, now bathed in the silver starlight. A beautiful river carved its way through the land, lined with a familiar woodland. It was all so clear to see from the sky. Enoch was sure he could spot many of his animal friends, safe and sound, and sleep in the night away. "Sleep well, my little friends," he whispered to them. On the earth below, some of the stars nearest to Enoch were curious at the sight of his long grey hair and matching beard. He had a kind face with wise sea-blue eyes and a broad smile. They all knew that he was a good person. The stars reached out their silvery arms to hug the tired old man. They were sorry to hear that he couldn't get to sleep after his long journey to and from Noville, just like the woodland animals. The stars also knew that everyone called on Enoch when they needed something, and no matter how tired he was always ready to lend a helping hand. Just then they were joined by the brightest and most beautiful star of all. "I am Gloriana, Queen of the Stars," she said as she glided to a graceful halt in front of Enoch. "I welcome you to the Sky Eye." She was so bright and shining. Enoch had to shade his eyes to see the spectacular queen more clearly. She was a vision of radiance, smiling kindly amongst whirlwinds of glittering silver stardust. Enoch looked back down at the earth, scanning the woodland where he and all his animal friends lived. "It's all so beautiful," Enoch said. "I am so grateful that I get to live on this land and that I have all my wonderful friends." Just as he was admiring the beautiful view, a sudden gust of wind interrupted his thoughts. What was happening, he wondered. Then he realized what it was: the swirling movements of Queen Gloriana. The queen swished around to look at two young stars who were whispering to each other. They were smiling and nodding in agreement, sharing a secret between them. "What are you two whispering about?" she asked the two stars. "We only wanted to ask." "Ask you if we should scatter some magic stardust on Mr. Snooze," said the first star. "We heard his wish, and we think we can use the dust to help him sleep." The second star nodded in agreement. "We might be young, but we know exactly how to do it," the second star said. "And besides, isn't granting wishes what stars are supposed to do, though?" Enoch couldn't quite hear what the stars were saying. He had some idea they were talking about him. But then a big yawn overtook him. He stretched his arms above his head and gazed out at the sea of sparkling stars. Around him, once again, he realized how tired he was. He breathed more deeply, hoping they would soon resolve whatever they were talking about, and once again the wish for a deep sleep played upon his mind. Both young stars waited in wide-eyed anticipation for Queen Gloriana's approval to use the stardust to help Enoch. She was proud of these little stars who were being so thoughtful in wanting to grant Enoch's wish for a good night's sleep. "Goodness me," she said, "what a lovely, kind idea. Yes, of course you can give him some of your magic silver stardust. Now let's go and grant Enoch snows." Which the two young stars were thrilled to receive her approval, and within seconds set to work in harmony with each other. Moving carefully, they began to spin around him. They escouade and spiraled with pure joy, shooting magic silver stardust from their fingertips in arcs of light all over him. Enoch smiled widely and let out a happy sigh. He felt so relaxed now, even his hair and beard were somehow more calm, feeling deeply soothed. Enoch closed his eyes. He heard the voice of the Queen of Stars whispered to him, "Kindness is a gift that's free to give and so precious to receive. And you, Enoch SSBY, have been very kind from now on. Sleep will always come easily to you. We grant you your wish." As her voice drifted away, he felt himself crazy in the gentle arms of the same star that had lifted him into the sky. She now lowered him gently down, 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 and laid him softly on the riverbank. The two snails smiled happy to see their friend looking so relaxed and calm. A small family of squirrels crowded together at his side. They left a pile of freshly picked blackberries next to him in case he woke up needing a midnight snack. The two faithful foxes who had been walking through the woodland also heard the news. Enoch Snooze had finally fallen asleep on the grass. The foxes trotted through the trees until they reached the river bank. There they snuggled beside him so they could look after their friend while he slept. Darkness surrounded them in the woodland, and the stars shone brilliantly overhead, twinkling through the night. And all the while Enoch Snooze dreamed about magic silver stardust and wishes that really do come.